As I continued my free fall through space, I could feel my previous soul eroding and my new one taking shape. I am robot, must have uterus, must have uterus, must rebirth self, rebirth, rebirth!
Thank you, gentlemen, so much for attending this rather informal press conference that I've called today, especially given its short notice. I really do appreciate all of you for coming out today to listen to what I have to say. First, I would like to invite all of you to make yourselves available to the refreshments that I have provided in the rear of the room. So if you need refreshing, you know where to go. Also, I have placed information packets by all of your chairs and seats, and so if you would like to follow along with my outline as far as the information that I'm going to be talking about today, please feel free to do so. Also, if you have questions or comments, don't hesitate to interrupt me, and I'll do my best to address those concerns. I guess how I'd like to start is just to give some background information on the research that I've been doing the past 2 years. But before I do, I would just like to extend an apology to any of my esteemed colleagues who may have found me unnecessarily secretive or mysterious the past few years. It was never my intention to deceive or to mislead anybody as far as what I've been working on. I just find that I do my best work in isolation and with a lot of solitary confinement. And again, I do sincerely apologize to anybody who may have misinterpreted my actions. Okay, as some of you know, I have been working these past 2 years studying new applications of fluoride. My research has been particularly accelerated in the past 6 months. I want to backtrack just a little bit and discuss briefly the history of fluoride. Very simply, fluoride is a chemical compound that is derived from the element fluorine. Fluorine was first isolated in 1886 by the French chemist Henri Moissan with very little fanfare. In fact, we have to fast forward some 22 years for the next significant development to occur. In 1908, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, there was a dentist named Frederick McKay. Now, Mr. McKay noticed a rather peculiar occurrence with his patients. On one hand, there was a very low rate of tooth decay and cavities, but at the same time, there was a rather high incidence of the mottling or the discoloration of the tooth enamel. Now, ultimately, Mr. McKay was able to trace this dichotomous situation to the drinking water of Colorado Springs, but as of yet, fluoride still had yet to be identified. Finally, in 1931, fluoride is identified. And basically what fluoride does is that it will increase the amount of crystal in the tooth enamel and it permanently hardens it. And essentially there are 3 benefits of fluoride. The most common is it will help prevent cavities and tooth decay. In addition, it will also help reduce the risk of periodontal or gum disease, and it also will help promote a proper tooth position or occlusion in the mouth. To a lesser extent, it also can strengthen the bones. Okay, as far as downsides of fluoride, we don't typically associate too many with it, aside from the mottling or the discoloration of the tooth enamel. But in extreme cases of fluoride overdose, a condition known as fluoride poisoning can occur. And symptoms would include abdominal pain, nausea, salivation, extreme thirst, a peculiar taste in the mouth, and tremors. In some cases, even death due to vascular shock can occur. Okay, in the 1940s, the real hot issue was the fluoridization of drinking water. And fluoridization first took place in Brantford, Ontario, Newburgh, New York, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. And scientists had discovered that 1 part fluoride per million parts drinking water was a very ideal balance. The commotion that typically surrounds the fluoridization of drinking water does not typically revolve around health concerns, although certainly those can be valid. More typically, people just don't like the idea of the government putting something into their drinking water and making them pay higher taxes for it. No, I'm okay. I'm fine. Oh, I'm just a little cold. But in the 1960s, some people who relied on artificial kidney machines discovered that they had health-related problems relating to the fluoridization of drinking water. But really, in the 112-year history of fluoride and fluorine, it's been a relatively quiet one, and there's really essentially just been the one major application, which again is the reduction of cavities and tooth decay and some of the other related benefits to oral hygiene. Gentlemen, over the past 2 years, I have been researching and perfecting a neo-application of fluoride, to wit, a fluoride-based artificial uterus, which is capable of transforming a carbon-based life form to a fluoride-based life form. Gentlemen, the ramifications of my Floridian transformation discovery are truly remarkable. No, I'm not mad at all. In fact, it's just the opposite. I must admit that my first attempt at what I affectionately called Crest Tube Baby was little less than satisfactory. I had, during the cloning process of myself, I had underestimated the fluoride coating of the lining in the uterus, and he was born with a fluoride addiction. He was helpless. I had to just roll. Crest. Gentlemen, in just 48 hours, I can transform a carbon-based life form into something truly amazing. Crystalline in structure and in form. Dodecahedron in shape. Don't be put off by his model appearance. So this is how it's going to be, huh? This is how it's going to be. You guys are going to thumb me down, aren't you? Well, fuck you, man. Donald, you've seen my work for years, and I don't ever remember my competency being called into question. Steve, we worked side by side for 2 years exploring the possibility of autoerotic behavior in plants, and I don't ever remember you disputing my credentials. Guys, 25 years ago, the idea of a test tube baby would have been considered a work of science fiction or a product of an overactive imagination. I've already done the work. Climb on my back. Let's get to the 21st century together. I mean, we're scientists here. I mean, we're not just here to pick up a paycheck. You guys think I'm some kind of a fruitcake standing up here with my fluoride findings, my little uterus. Guys, in 50 years, that is, if we haven't already blown each other off the face of the earth, I mean, there's not even going to be an ozone layer left. It's already vanishing before our eyes. Carbon-based life forms will be wiped out in our lifetime, certainly in our children's. We'll be relegated to antiquity. Only one life form will be able to exist in such a hostile environment: a fluoride-based life form. fluoride-based life form with fortified tissues and exoskeleton. Look at your expressions. God, you guys are such limited thinkers. Gentlemen, it's going to happen. If you thumb me down, you'll be condemning the entire human race to death.
Gentlemen, it's going to happen. Still smarting from the complete rejection of his Floridian transformation theories by his esteemed colleagues, Dr. Christian Ferriswheel continued his descent into his world of madness and fluoride addiction. Imbeciles. It completely discredited my whole concept of Floridian transformation. Floridian transformation. Floridian. The true Floridians. Larry Jones, Sam Robinson, Matt Calvin. What attracted to me in the first place was that pink stripe in their uniforms and the pink and yellow basketball cards. I think it was my freshman year in high school when I got my first pink shirt and baby blue sweater. Those imbeciles mocked me for wearing pink. They thought I was some kind of faggot. My brother Matt predicted the girls would be impressed by the shirt and sweater. I was hoping even Lisa Knudsen would be too. There was a little guy in Germany who put pink stars on some people he wanted to kill. I'd like to put pink fluoride pills down Hitler's throat and tell him all about Sam Robinson. Hello everyone and welcome to Professional Indoor Toothpasting. I'm Christian Ferriswheel and tonight we're really excited. We've gathered the top 8 toothpaste in the United States and we're going to play them down to one champion tonight. For those of you not well versed in the rules of toothpasting, well, it works something like this. 2 tubes of toothpaste are set up next to each other and their caps are removed. And then both are struck with a quick blow to the body of the tube. Whichever toothpaste can squirt the furthest distance wins. Now, as I've said, we have gathered the top 8 toothpastes. And what we have done is we have ranked them 1 through 8. And the higher-seeded team will always go second. The lower-seeded team obviously will go first in these games. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the brackets. In our first game, the 6 versus 3, it will be Aquafresh going up against Pepsodent. In the 7-2 matchup, Ultra Bright against Colgate. In the 5-4 matchup, AIM against Close-Up. And in the 8-1 matchup, Gleam against Crest. And unfortunately, Gleam could not make it here tonight, so Crest will get an automatic bye into the second round. Clearly, you would have to think that Crest and Colgate would be the 2 favorites, but I think any of these tubes, if they can get hot, there's no question that any of these
any of these toothpastes are capable of winning. So without any further ado, let's take it down to Fluoride Field with our first matchup of Aquafresh against Pepsodent. Already suffering from fluoride addiction and poisoning, Dr. Christian Ferriswheel's thought processes became more delusional and fantastic. He became obsessed with the idea of metamorphosizing himself into a living fluoride rocket, then ingesting pure elemental fluorine as a rocket propellant due to its exceptionally high specific impulse value. Plotting a course for beyond the stars, Dr. Christian Ferriswheel's hope was to eventually encounter his fluoride god. Pale yellow mother, all life will tremble before you. Metal, glass, carbon, and water will burn before you in a bright flame. I humble myself before you now. I offer a small tribute, this cloth which has on it an intricate fluoride design. I used my own body to fashion it.
Somehow surviving the harsh elements of the brutal North Dakota winter, the robot instinctively headed southwest on his mission of finding a uterus. Eventually, he stopped in the southeast corner of Utah, where he found the isolated landscape an ideal environment to spend time in beatitude with his developing new identity. Meanwhile, Dr. Christian Ferriswheel had grown despondent. As a result of his controversial fluoride research, he was stripped of his medical license and banned from ever practicing medicine again. His great fluoride uterus was put away to rot in a storage room in a remote wing of the hospital. Always sensing Dr. Christian Ferriswheel's presence, the robot knew it was now time to meet his destiny in Des Moines, Iowa.
From that uterus! Get out of here! Get out of here!
And so the robot and Dr. Christian Ferriswheel worked throughout the evening preparing the fluoride uterus, which had not been used in quite some time. The sounds of laughter were not uncommon as the two of them took delight in each other's company. Finally, in morning, everything was ready for the robot's transformation. Are you ready, my friend?
Yes, Christian. Yes, Christian.